NASA isn't the only space agency. Are all others in on it too?
The answer is yes. Here's a short clip on what you need to know.
The Vector, NASA's official logo. If you've ever looked at NASA's official logo, both their official insignia and their official seal, you'll see that the most prominent object in the seal is a red swooshing object. They call that the chevron or the vector. If you ask NASA's Public Affairs Office, this symbology is featured so heavily in their insignia and seal, they'll give you what really amounts to the standard facile cover story for the unilluminated. They'll tell you that that is a representation of a hypersonic wing design from the 1950s.
Well, yeah, a lot of these agencies use that design because it denotes speed. For tests, you know, getting somewhere fast. Being pointy means you're aerodynamic. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more of this because I want you to see who this guy is who's talking. This entire section is basically how all the space agencies are connected to Satan because they use chevrons in their logos. Or something.
The Mercury program, for example, a blatant use of covert symbology. In every logo dealing with the Mercury program, you'll see what looks like a number 7 in their logo. And again, NASA's official story is that they put this number 7 there so that they could pay homage to the original 7 Mercury astronauts. Kind of forgetting the fact that only 6 Mercury astronauts actually flew into space because number 7 never did. Deke Slayton had a heart problem, so he didn't get to go up. So there were only 6 Mercury astronauts. Yet there's a 7 in every single logo. That's in the official mission or official program insignia for Mercury, as well as the 6 individual mission patches carry this logo.
So this guy's name is Kerry Martin Newick, something along those lines. I did a little bit of research and this is the first thing that came up. So with respect to him, I'm going to completely ignore everything he said. Because despite the fact that somebody has taken the time to interviewing for some program or another, his credibility is less than 0. Let's move on.
Let's look at NASA's Earthrise.
I think they missed a heading there, but let's carry on.
Now let's look at JAXA's Earthrise. Do you believe this is real?
Yes, I do. And I'll tell you why. Look at the light source, look at the shadows. That is actually a perfect representation of what you would expect to see on that type of image taken from those vantage points. The image on the left is taken by NASA. The sun is above the camera or the craft's point. The sun is shining directly down onto the Earth and the Moon, and the lights are constant. In the image on the right, the sun is behind the craft, so the Earth is fully illuminated, and the long shadows on the Moon beneath it make perfect sense. So I'm not entirely sure he understood what he was looking at when he put this image in the video. However, this entire video has shown he doesn't know what he's looking at.
Well then, who's responsible for this deception?
You will find that the Jesuits and the Vatican have been intimately involved in all things space, including owning the earliest telescopes and to this day the largest owners of observatories and telescopes in the world.
This is the kind of thing I was alluding to when I said in one of my earlier videos that flat eartherism is a gateway conspiracy. So while it's all light and fluffy and it's got nice visuals, here it comes down to the brass tacks, and it's basically the Jews are controlling everything, and the Masons and the Illuminati and the all-seeing eye and all this garbage. Unless he says anything credible, I'm going to skip this entire bit.
Why the lie?
Their desire is to convince us that we are only one of a septillion other planets flying through infinite space. A septillion? Where do they get these numbers?
Best guess. That's all that science is, best guess. They don't know, but what you have to understand and what you always fail to realise is that we are tiny, tiny, tiny and insignificant. The universe does not exist for us. We exist because the universe created a set of circumstances in which we could evolve from protoplasm billions or millions of years ago. We are not the most important thing in the universe, even though you guys like to think you are. It's not here for you. Yes, there could be several quintillion, there could be octillion, there could be nonillion. There's probably a Google of other planets out there. The vast universe we can't see with the naked eye. And we know from images taken by the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Telescope how very, very tiny and insignificant we are in the grand scheme of things in this entire gigantic universe. It's not all about you.
A septillion has 24 zeros.
And when I say Google, I mean Google, not Google. A Google is a 1 followed by 100 zeros. And it's entirely feasible that there are that many other planets in this universe. We don't know. They came up with septillion because best guess.
This is all best guess, Commander. That's all science is best guess.
Okay, so for a frame of reference, let's say that the ball in the end of this ballpoint pen is our, let's say it's our solar system. Our Milky Way would be probably this big. Okay, that's a very rough guess and it's probably completely inaccurate. But let's say that tiny ball is our solar system. This is our galaxy, the Milky Way. Shrink that down, that is now the Milky Way. Go up to here again, that's the observable universe. That's the universe we can see. It's that big. Shrink that down again. And if you want to talk about the size of the actual universe as the best guess, put that, the observable universe, in the middle of the sun, and the size of the sun in relation to that being, the observable universe, isn't even close to being big enough to demonstrate how large the universe might be. So again, we're talking about the vast numbers that people like flat earthers cannot possibly comprehend because they're too insular, they're too tiny, but they think they're so big.
How one could draw that conclusion is unknown. They want us not to understand our origin and go on believing that life is meaningless. They want us to believe that alien life is real.
No. Well, point one, life is what you make of it. What is the meaning of life? Whatever you want it to be. There doesn't have to be a reason. What's the purpose of a rabbit? What's the purpose of a goldfish? What's the purpose of a squirrel? To be born, to live, to eat, to die. We just happen to be intelligent enough, some of us, to understand what's actually going on and ask questions about it, which is what you're doing. Unfortunately, you're not looking for the answers in the right places.
This isn't just about flat Earth versus round Earth. It's much bigger than that. Whatever they plan on doing needed the spherical Earth groundwork laid before they could proceed. They may either shock us with a fake alien invasion or a disclosure of the beings that have always been among us.
I think it's fair to say that given that this video was done 6 years ago, none of this has really come to pass. This is where the video starts to fall apart. It's not so much about proof of flat Earth as it is evidence that this guy is an anti-government, anti-Semitic, anti-authority whack job who idolises Eric Debay and can't think critically for himself. So I'll have a quick run through the last bits of this video, but you can see pretty much now it's coming to a conclusion and not a good one.
Another reason to turn the Earth into a ball is to hide extra land. If this is a vast plain, and there are places past Antarctica, with more oceans and more land masses, then an easy way to get rid of them is to wrap our part of this plain around a ball and make it seem as if there is nothing else and everything has already been discovered.
No, not everything has been discovered. They're still discovering new species, more or less on a yearly basis, in Madagascar. More people have stepped on the moon than have been to the bottom of the ocean. No jokes about the Titanic, please.
What does it mean if the Earth is flat?
It means that the origin of man is deliberately being covered up from us. Man, woman, child, you are being deceived on a massive scale. Flat Earth, enclosed flat Earth, expansive plain flat Earth, it means that this place was created, that you were designed. You were crafted. You are special and with purpose. A purpose being hidden from you on purpose.
So again, what this boils down to is an innate mistrust in authority and governments. I think he gave away a little bit too much there when he said that if we're on a flat Earth, we were created. I'm not entirely sure where that one comes from. There wasn't a lot of talk of evolution in the previous 37 minutes and 33 seconds of this video, but we weren't created, you know, as I was saying earlier about the theory of evolution and things like that. It's been proven time and time again. We just happened to turn up on a planet that was ideal for us. The planet was not created for us to exist. We exist because the planet does. Another little tell there was that if you were created, you're here for a purpose and you are special. And there we have it, I believe. He wants to be special. He wants to be noticed and he wants to be celebrated, because he alone is the beholder of the ultimate truth. He knows what's actually going on with this semi-nonsensical 21-point video that's taken me quite a long time to actually watch. I think I'm about 2 hours of footage now. Remember what I said about editing? I'll see what I can do. Yeah, but I think I'm going to leave it. There is some more, but it really does descend into more blathering on about Zionists and Masons and Illuminati and the All-Seeing Eye and Jesuits and this, that and the other. And then it ends with a bit of a music video, which is all very strange. But that is where I'm going to leave that. 21 points that prove the Earth is flat. Not one of them has done the job. A few of them weren't even points about the Earth being flat. They were just having a go at government and authority. As I said, gateway conspiracy can lead to a much worse past, because after this, after believing the Earth is flat, then you get into 9/11 conspiracies and space conspiracies, and then you get into anti-vaccines, anti-COVID, innate mistrust in government, and that's where you get January 6th. I said it was a bit of a leap last time, but I still hold by it. If you get that many people gathered together with one mindset and with that much disdain for authority, it only takes one person to throw a brick. So thank you very much for watching. I quite enjoyed that, and my throat has held out, which I'm really quite happy about, so I am definitely getting better. 21 questions and answers for Flat Earth, and not one of them was credible. There's a shock. That was a lot of work to get through, and right at the end he just completely loses the plot and just blathers on for another 10 minutes or so. But I've said it, it's not worth a watch. I will link it if you want to have a look through. It's, like I say, 6 years old, it's 1.6 million views. I think I've gone over the major points. There isn't a bit at the end, but it's nothing that's going to change anybody's mind. And like I say, the second you mention Eric Debay, you lose every bit of credibility. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.